Good evening, everyone. I will discuss about constructivist and narrative approaches to career development. Chapter 11: Constructivist and narrative approaches to career development. What do we mean by constructivist? Constructivism is a theory that says learners construct knowledge rather than just passively take in information. As people experience the world and reflect upon those experiences, they build their own representation and incorporate new information into their pre-existing knowledge. Constructivism is an important learning theory that educators use to help their students to learn. Constructivism is based on the idea that people actively construct or make their own knowledge, and that reality is determined by your experiences as a learner. Constructivist theory, those are two somewhat different views on constructing one's view of the world. Constructivism and social construction focuses on how interaction with others affect people's view of the world and action that take as a result of views. Constructivism is a theory of knowledge, learning, and teaching based on that idea that humans actively construct new understanding, as what I've said before. Learning is a result from comparing new information with existing knowledge to form new connections and new understanding. These are the central tenets of constructivism. Knowledge and beliefs are formed within the learner. Learner's personality imbue experiences with meaning. Learning activities should cause individuals to access their experience, knowledge, and beliefs. Learning is a social activity enhanced to share inquiry. Reflection and metacognition are essential aspects of constructing the knowledge and meaning. Learners plays an essential role of assessing their own learning. The outcomes of learning process are varied and often unpredictable. Constructivism is divided into into schools of thought, which are the cognitive constructivism and social constructivism. Cognitive constructivism states knowledge is something that is actively constructed by learners based on their existing cognitive structures. Therefore, learning is relative to their stage of cognitive development. Learners construct new knowledge of the foundations of existing knowledge. For example, learners who already have the cognitive structures necessary to solve percentage problems in mathematics will have some of structures necessary to solve time, rate, distance problem, but they will need to modify their existing structures to accommodate the newly acquired information to solve. Cognitive constructivism reflects the work of Swiss psychologist Jean Piaget, who was interested in cognitive process of knowledge construction. Piaget theorized that all knowledge is held in cognitive structures called schema, which contain all the descriptions, experiences, memories, relationships, connections, and etc. that relate to particular idea. Piaget theory constructivism argues that people produce knowledge and form meaning based upon their experiences. Piaget theory covered learning theory, teaching methods, and education and perform, assimilating causes an individual to incorporate new experiences into the old experiences. According to schema theory, learning occurs by active process of assimilation and accommodation. Simply put, schema theory states that all knowledge is organized into units. Within these units of knowledge, or schemata, is stored information. A schema then is a generalized description of a conceptual system for understanding knowledge, how knowledge is represented, and how it is used. Assimilation occurs when new information agrees with existing knowledge. The learner fits new existing information into a schema or creates an entirely new schema. Accommodation occurs when new information conflicts with existing knowledge. The learners must adapt existing schemas in order to conceal cognitive dissonance. Social constructivism. Social constructivism is defined as a social group constructing things for one another, collaboratively create a small culture or shared artifacts with shared meaning. Reflects the work of Russian psychologist Lev Vygotsky, who researched the role of social interaction in learning. Vygotsky believed that learning is driven by external forces including culture, language, and social interaction, and that every mental function has a social component. He is best known for the theory of zone of proximal development. Social constructivism stresses the need for collaborative learning. Learning is promoted through collaboration among students and between students and teachers. Some examples of collaborative learning activities are group problem solving, group inquiry, simulation, and debates. Vygotsky proposed two types of knowledge, which are spontaneous concepts and scientific concept. What is spontaneous concept? A spontaneous concept refers to conceptions about the world that we form without any formal education. Often these are connected with physics. They may be a wrong concept like heavier object falls faster or bigger objects are heavier. Piaget thinks that are made by introspection. Spontaneous are scientific conceptual structure both developed through continuous interaction between individual partners in an historical context and don't result from cognitive conflicts between two thought processes and scientific narrative career counseling. Um that's back again. In addition, spontaneous concepts are ideas that are individual and independently constructed as a result of everyday life experiences, while scientific concepts are more formalized ideas which are imposed upon the learner by a more knowledgeable individuals. Therefore, Vygotsky believed that with assistance, a child's potential for learning was much greater than his or her independent potential to master spontaneous concept. He called the difference between a child independent potential and on his or her potential with assistance the zone of proximal development. Vygotsky claimed the learning occurs best within a child's zone of proximal development. He asserted that teachers can make use of instructional support, later known as scaffolding, to keep learners active within the ZPD in order to foster meaningful construction. Narrative career counseling represents a shift of 20th century focus on objective intervention to career decision making toward a 21st century concern for interpretive approaches. It is cited of postmodern developments where previous good theories overemphasize either social structures and individual psychology. The approach is empowering since the individual takes an active part in defining career roles that fits into his or her understanding of meaningful life events. It provides a telling way of assessing an individual's career counseling needs, revealing more than objective assessment methods. Therefore, constructivism is based on idea that people actively construct or make their own knowledge. Reality is determined by one's experience as a learner. Use their previous knowledge as a foundation, build on it with new things that they learn, and everyone's individual experiences makes their learning unique to them. That's all. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. Bye.